Hey YouTube, AdoptedMike here, and this video I'm going to be taking a look at this Gigabyte motherboard. This is the A75UD4H motherboard. It is their Super 4 motherboard. So we'll take a look at the box here, and we'll see what we have going on. We got the A75 chipset, which is this is an FM1 socket. This is the Ultra Durable 3. So that's pretty cool. We have super safe, super speed, and super savings. We even got a display port on board. That's interesting. USB 3.0 SATA 3.0, so that's 6 gigabit a second SATA. Super sound. That's awesome. Super safe, super speed, super savings, super sound. Say that, 3 times fast. Okay, so we got a quick look around the board. Japanese solid capacitors, better device compatibility with 3 times the USB power, high definition 108 decibel signal to noise ratio Blu-ray DVD audio playback, dual BIOS with 3 terabyte plus HDD boot up capability. So that's awesome. So we're built for the future here. And okay, yep, so we also have the new APU graphics driver inside. So, starting off, we have, I love these colorful ones, the rear I/O shield with multicolors. I really enjoy seeing these over that old, standard, shiny metal aluminum one. I like seeing, especially if they're black background, but the gray is great too. Yeah, it's just, not everybody looks at the back of the computer, but when you do, this to me just looks a lot, nicer than just the shiny aluminum. Anyway, we've got the motherboard manual here with the DVD to come along with it, with the chipset drivers and everything, and there's the Fusion, AMD Fusion is on here as well too. Easy Tune, so Gigabyte's Easy Tune and all of their motherboard utilities are on here, and it looks like we even have a probably a trial version of Norton Security. So that's kind of nice, probably a 30-day or something like that, but still, it's enough to get started. Just, when you get online, double check the drivers and make sure that you have the most current ones. Now we have the multilingual installation guidebook. Got Gigabyte's signature blue SATA 6 gigabit a second cables. There's a straight and a right angle, and a straight and a right angle. So we have 2 right angles and 2 straight cables. Now, oh, look at what we got here too. We got a nice little case badge, and we have another one. Dolby Home Theater. Oops. Now let's get to the most important part. And look at that, there it is. It's a nice looking motherboard, very nice. Okay, so let's definitely go through some of the features here, and let's start. Like usual, I will start at the bottom there. Nice sturdy motherboard. Okay, so we have our front panel audio and SPDIF there. We've got the 1394s covered up, so you don't mistake it for a USB 2.0 port, which is great because that would completely destroy a USB 2.0 device. We've got USB 2.0, there's 3 headers there, and then a 4th one that is powered all the time, even when the system is off. We've got USB 2.0, USB 3.0, there's 2 of them. So that is awesome. That is a ton of connectivity on this board. Wow, that's great. All of our front panel connectors, which are conveniently color coded, so that's kind of awesome. There we've got our chipset under this heatsink there. Now spinning it around, we've got our SATA 6 gigabit a second there. There are 4 right angles and then one that is straight on. Oh, this is also 2x copper PCB as well too. There is a system fan there that is actually a 4-pin header, so that's kind of cool. Then over here we have our TPM, then a COM, which is interesting that it's on this back side, but I guess they filled up that side there with USBs and whatnot. Got a 24-pin power there. We've got a 3-pin power fan, so that's always 12 volts. We've got a CPU fan there, that's a 4-pin. This here is our 4 DDR3 DIMM slots, so this will support 8 gigs in each for 32 total. Coming along here, look at this great heatsink. Yeah, that's nice. And then we have a 4-pin power. So this board here is ready to rock and roll on overclocking with all the features. Okay, so let's take a peek here. Okay, I missed this one here. We have a System Fan 2 there. That is a 3-pin. And I don't see any others. So that looks like it rounds out the fan header. Sometimes we see one over in this area, but not in this case. So now let's take a look at our available expansion slots. We have 3 2.0 by 1 slots. These two are physically 16 2.0s. This one runs at 16 and this one will run at 8. So if you have one graphics card, definitely use this top one. When you do some crossfire action, then you'll use these, but this one will run at 8. But that shouldn't make a huge difference though. You know, if it was a by 4, that's one thing, but a by 8, it's still enough bandwidth that you're not going to get hurt by upgrading to a second card that isn't going to be able to take advantage of all of the 16 lanes. And then we have 2 legacy PCI slots here as well. Just going over the documentation real quick, I realized that this is 16 and this is 8, but when they're both populated, they're both going to run at 8. So I did want to point that out too. And also, the reason I actually went and looked, because when we went over the layout here, I didn't notice anything about SLI support or crossfire support. It appears that this board does not support either. So even though it has 2 by 16 slots, you really doesn't appear that we can run a crossfire or a SLI configuration here. It does support dual graphics, which is combining the APU and a GPU together if the GPU is compatible with the APU and vice versa. Then that works, but we can't run 2 crossfires here and then just not use the onboard graphics. So that's one thing to think about here. So this one here would probably be good for a RAID card or a something like that is where we would use this bandwidth here. So you could do dual graphics with a good APU and like a 6670 or something here. But yeah, that's just interesting. Or you could just use a single graphics card like a GTX 580 or 680 or 7970 and then not use the APU's graphics. So one thing to keep in mind is we can't run a crossfire or SLI. I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Anyway, moving on to the rear I/O. We've got a PS2 port and 2 USB 3.0 ports, VGA, DVI, then we have our display port, HDMI, so one of each, and we have an optical audio out, USB 2.0, FireWire, eSATA, USB 3.0, Gigabit Ethernet, and then surround sound out back. So that is a pretty extensive rear I/O. It'll support just about any display type there, which is a little crazy, but yeah, some people might be using these, so if you do, they definitely are there. Interesting. Okay, so that will wrap up my unboxing and quick look at the Gigabyte A75UD4H motherboard based on the AMD A75 chipset. And as always, thank you for watching.